So Blackburn Rovers fans, just like me, had 2 weeks to wait for, of course, their beloved Blue and White Halves to return to the field in the Championship. But guess what? We returned to a pile of shit as we lost to bottom of the table Wycombe. Let's take a look at that. More next. That's right, folks, back once again, of course, with another match review. This time, looking back, Blackburn Rovers return to the Championship up against Wycombe Wanderers. And we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, smash the old subscribe button to get out today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, maybe even League One related. We've got it all here on the Warruski. That's right, boys and girls. Rovers were coming back from the international break to a big, fat, disgustingly poor defeat against lowly Wycombe Wanderers, but of course, we'll talk more about it in a minute. Big shout out to the patrons supporting the channel behind the scenes. I really do appreciate it, guys, especially when I have to deal with this drivel. Absolutely criminal in the end. 1-0 loss to Wycombe Wanderers at their place, Helms Park, of course, in a Rovers performance that was usually, I would say, not familiar with us, but it is a familiar, same old story now. Just one win in past 13 games, of course, without winning 5, in fact, as Rovers continue to flap around the place. If the season was, of course, squeaky clean in those last 13 games, we would be in the relegation zone. But of course, fortunately for us, we have the points that we put on the board back at the start of the season. But it is, of course, cruising for a bloody bruising. As of course we try to end the season strongly. I'm running out of lives myself for Tony Mowbray. I've been trying to be Mowbray in for the good part of it, but unfortunately I cannot see where else we can go from here. I did give him an out, which was to better the season's tally of last season. I think it is still possible for him to do that, but I think from now on in, you've got to win every single bloody game. If not, maybe a couple of little one or two draws. But to be honest with you, I don't think that's even something that we can consider. Of course, as you can see, 1-0 win in the end for Wycombe at their place. Fred Onyedinma, the goal scorer, on the 47th minute to give them the win, of course. And of course, the Rovers showed little to no response to that, even though we tried to pepper them with, of course, 11 shots. There wasn't really much of a peppering, to be fair. 2 of them on target. We had a lot of the ball again. We'll take a look at the stats in a little bit more detail in just a second, but before that, we'll take a look at the teams. Taking on forward then, let's take a look at the starting lineups for, of course, the hosts, Wycombe Wanderers. They stocked up between the sticks. Onyedinma on the left-hand side, Jakobsen, Knight, Grimmer and McCarthy making up a back 5 here. Of course, Jakobsen, the set-piece provider. Thompson, Gape in midfield. And the loanees, Mahemeti on the left-hand side, and we have got Musqui as well on the right, and I've got Ikabazu up top. Of course, Ekin Fenwell was on the bench. As for Rovers, here is the starting lineups for you. Of course, Kaminsky between the sticks. Of course, Douglas at left back. Howard Bellis, Lenihan, Frankie Costello mid at the back 4. Rothwell, Tribal, Hoppy also in the midfield 3, with Brereton, Gallagher and Elliott up top. No Armstrong, of course. No Nyambe, he was on the bench. Of course, when you look at this on paper, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty savvy. Looks a bit of value in this. And of course, on paper, you would say 100% this team should be beating, of course, Wycombe Wanderers. But unfortunately, we didn't. Let's take a look at my match ratings then, kicking it all off with Kaminsky. To be fair, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here with a 6. He had nothing to do except for pick the ball out of the back of the net. He was on his toes. He was caused presence in the goal, so he did very well. As for Douglas, absolutely shite, mate. I can't believe I can't believe he's still here. He's especially, and I am judging him because of the reputation he comes with. He comes with a good reputation, supposed to be the next best thing. If he wasn't a Mari Bell standard, then you know what, I wouldn't be as harsh as him. But I'm expecting a lot more from him, and he's failing to deliver, of course. So I'm giving you, because I'm expecting, you are a Royals Royce kind of a left back. You're a left back that comes with a reputation with pedigree. And we're not getting it. We are not getting it from you. We're getting a half-assed Douglas here. Someone who seems to be here for the money, seems here for the game time, for the minutes, and that's it. And to be fair, you should be playing for the badge, no matter what. We are your employers. You should be delivering it. And I don't know why we're getting a subpar Barry Douglas, but we are, and it frustrates the piss out of me. Howard Bellis with 6 in London, same deal. Those two guys didn't do too much wrong. I don't know whose fault it was for the goal, but to be fair, I thought they were okay at the back. And of course, Frankie Costello had a bit of a nightmare himself. Got a 4. Again, didn't really see too much of him going forward. Into the midfield 3 we go now. 4 for Rothwell, 4 for Treble, and 4 for Holtby. To be fair, I'm being kind because there was nothing from you guys at all. Brereton up top with a 4, Gallagher with a 4, and Elliott with a 5. A little bit generous from you because I thought Elliott did offer some attacking nous. But to be fair, I'm embarrassed to say that you're my strikers or my forwards. And again, it might be because you played out of whack. You might be because you're down in confidence. But I don't know. We've just had 2 weeks of international break. You're supposed to come back refreshed, revitalised, and on the back of a positive result against Norwich. But you come up against these guys and you fall flat. They're scrapping for their lives. You guys just think you're on holiday already. You're not. You've still got a job to do. You're still going to finish above the relegation zone. And there is still a question mark of whether we could do that or not. We've got 7 or 8 games left in the season, and they are quite difficult ones. We've got 2 difficult ones coming up back to back, which I don't see us getting anything out of it if we're lucky. And then we've got some games against some teams that are scrapping for their lives down the foot of the table. So you know what? We're not out of it yet. We might be mathematically okay for the time being, but that could all change in a heartbeat, especially if the teams like Wycombe, like Rotherham, like Sheffield Wednesday get results. And again, they might have got a little bit fortuitous today for us, but I think we're only a couple of weekends away from being in trouble. So get your act together now. If nothing's going to change behind the scenes, well, it's got to change on the pitch. And to be fair, you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me wearing that badge on your chest and giving yourselves a half-assed performance. Because when you look at that, Darrell Lenihan, okay, and there's a couple of them. I was going to go down a thing here, but there's only 2 guys that come through the academy books: the Lenihan and Ranky Costello. The rest have been brought in. Of course, I can't fault Kaminsky. I thought it was fair. Hobart Bellis not really too disgruntled, but the rest I thought were abysmal. Where's the passion? Where's the drive? Where's the never say die attitude? But imagine this is your last game of professional football. Just imagine if tomorrow they all decide to cancel football, and then you're remembered on your last performance. And your last performance was absolutely dire. You should be going in, week out, playing for your badge, playing for your skin, you're lucky enough to be playing anyway, period. And you're playing for a traditional classic club. I know we're not going through the good times at the moment, but it's an embarrassment. Look at the guys at Wycombe. They're scrapping for their lives. They're proud to be in this division. They're proud to be playing for Wycombe Wanderers. And of course, they might have not had the better season than we have, even though ours is dramatically catching up with them. But they're playing for the badge. They're playing for the manager. They're playing for the team. It's never say die attitude. But we seem to be can't be arsed. I don't know why. As you can see, 69% possession for Rovers, 30% for Wycombe, 11 shots for us, 9 for them. Area duels 1 for Rovers. Again, all the stats flatter to deceive. As you can see, a heat map. If you're a heat map man just like me, again, all the gear, no idea. It frustrates me to watch when we're losing, when we're trailing, the backwards passing, the lack of energy, the lack of movement. If we're losing, get your asses up there and try and get the goal back quick time, not milling around. And then, of course, when you make your substitutions, of course, we're not really blessed with attacking options off the bench, are we? Really, if we're gonna throw Elliott, Brereton, and Gallagher off for the get go, you haven't got much on the bench. It's just a miserable time at the moment, and I don't know when it will change, if it will change, because the vibe is, of course, the fan base. We'll see that in a minute. The fan base is not very, very happy with the way things are at the moment, and it could get very, very sour for Mowbray very, very quick. So he either has to be man enough to say, you know what, guess what, I've done enough, or it's as far as I can take him. I think maybe Rovers needs a new approach. And maybe the man to take the new approach was sitting in the dugout of the home team today, Gareth Ainsworth. Of course, diehard Rovers fan. I'm sure he would jump at the chance to take over Rovers if offered the opportunity. But would we take him? I don't even know. We had 709 touches to their 412 as well. These are the shots, as you can see here. With 506 passes as well. All the gear, no idea. But yeah, it's just another miserable afternoon of football for Blackburn Rovers, and again, nothing to take out of it. Of course, that's what I think. What about the gaffer? What did he have to think about the match shortly after the final whistle? Tony, give me something. To be fair, I don't even know what you're going to say. What can you say to revitalise me and the rest of the Rovers fan base?
One that I think we've seen before a few times. Huffed and puffed, didn't have the ultimate quality in the final third to make the difference. We just fell short today. I think every game in this league is tough. From the previous game going to the team running away at the top of the table and getting a credible draw and playing pretty well, to coming to the team right at the bottom of the table and ultimately losing 1-0. How much is the difference between the two teams, the two performances? Well, we had a lot more of the ball today, but couldn't do enough with it to get a point. So and lost the game on one of their strengths, really, a set play. And frustrating for us, disappointed. Nothing else to say really, other than huffed and puffed, didn't show enough ultimate quality in the final third to win the game.
Was that frustrating? Because I think it's not the first time you've said that this season.
No, so as I've said to you, it's happened a lot. Yeah. What do you do other than you keep working at it? These are the players we've got. This is the team we've got. This is a team that can compete against everybody in this league, and yet, as this league has shown, the teams at the bottom can always do well. When I first arrived at this club, we were in at the bottom and we lost 3 of 15, and shown how difficult it is to play against teams at the bottom when they are fighting for their lives. And I think Wycombe deserves some credit the way they dug in, fought for every ball today, cleared their lines, headed a lot of balls out the box second half, put us under pressure with the directness of their delivery into our box, which is a real strength of what they do, and you have to be able to defend it. And at one point, for one moment in the game, we didn't, and that's the frustration. And I can't stand here and defend it really. And I've said to the players, we'll watch it back tomorrow. Who's culpable for it? Is it one of the blockers? Is it the 2 central defenders in the middle of the 6-yard box? Why was he allowed a free header just outside our 6-yard line? Whose job was that? And we'll break it down tomorrow. I think over the last month, 6 weeks, we've been pretty good. We changed our system on defending set plays. We went to more zonal system, and the goals against from set plays recently has been pretty good. Today it's cost us a game, and we'll look at it as we always do and see where the problem was. Well, I think, listen, undoubtedly Adam Armstrong helps our team. I mean, he did train yesterday. The decision with the medical department, sports science department and the management was that it was too much of a risk to put him into this game. When we tried that against Bristol City recently, and then if it's not quite right, he's going to miss another 2 or 3 on the back of it, so we tried to give him the extra time. Adam can obviously score off from nothing really. He doesn't need to be a great build-up goal for Adam to score, and he wasn't available today, and so we went with what we had. And ultimately they surprised us a little bit with their shape. They played the 3 at the back. They've only played it, I don't think they've actually started 3 at the back this year. And so they must have for some reason decided to do that, and the positioning of our strikers needed to change. We changed it at half time, and it didn't alter too much. I'm not sure. I've always said to you, the formations don't really. It's the overall how you want to play really. Either you're direct or you're ball retention. How many men do you get in the box when you're delivering into the box, and a bit of a combination today of the quality into the box, and then how many men did we get in the box. And late on, when we were getting lots of men in the box, they obviously had lots of defenders back there, and it would have been nice for one of the half chances that came along. John had a good chance. Tom Tribal had an amazing free header. They didn't go in for us, and we've ended up losing the game 1-0. I think ultimately, listen, football is all about being ruthless in both boxes. At the end of the day, it's an old adage of football, and managers can roll it out, but ultimately if you're not ruthless in both boxes, you can lose football matches. And we need to be a bit more clinical, attacking and ruthless when them chances, those half chances, you've got to force them in, you've got to ram them into their net, and at the other end you've got to put your body on the line more. And I'm not saying that's the reason today, but I think overall in all of these tight games that we seem to play in this division, that might be the fine detail of just a bit more ruthless in both boxes. We hope so. As I said, he trained yesterday, and so let's hope he feels okay. He'll train the next couple of days with the team, and if he's got no problems and he's saying he's feeling 100%, then we'll put him back in.
Just finally assess the challenge we'll face on Monday at Bournemouth side under sort of someone you know very well in Jonathan Woodgate.
Well, it's not about their players really. It's not about their coach. Their players have been Premier League footballers. They all over the pitch. They've got real high quality, and a pretty expensively assembled group of footballers really. And let's wait and see. So there's the challenge for us, but it's one that we can rise to, and let's look forward to the challenge of playing Bournemouth at home.
Meanwhile, what's been going on social media? Let's take a little look then, shall we? Of course, Lewis Hartley, always vocal these days. Enough is enough, he says. I'm refusing to pay to watch this shit week in, week out, and this clown has left until this clown's left our club. 7 points out of 39 is an embarrassment. This team is nothing but overhyped and hasn't put a good performance in since Preston away. Massive rebuild job needed. Wow. Aaron Lomax says, if you Rovers fans think this performance is acceptable and Mowbray is the man to take us forward, then you're deluded. Meanwhile, what else do we say? Sean Slater said how to fall out of love with football in one step. One, be a Blackburn Rovers fan, of course. Meanwhile, Stuart Grimshaw said it's hard to argue against replacing the manager with 1 win in 13, but to do it with 8 games left is not the right time. Leave it till the summer. Do it now. It's a rush, and you waste any new manager bounce on a meaningless game. A caretaker wouldn't make it better. Either. Meanwhile, Josh Boswell said it was clear Tony Mowbray should have been sacked in January 2020. Anyone that didn't support that at the time has sentenced us to this misery. Sorry to say it out loud. Sean Fox says, does Mowbray need to go? Yes, but that doesn't change the fact that the players were dreadful today and have been for a long time. I'm excited to see the backs of several of these players. Pathetic, he says, hashtag Rovers. Chris Martin said this, it's time to go, Tony. Surely this is ridiculous, hashtag Rovers. Rovers chat says, dire, terrible. Other words I won't use on here. Thanks for the memories, Tony, hashtag Rovers. Meanwhile, Rovers tweet said, these Rovers players are very lucky fans aren't allowed back in. Of course, they would get some absolute arses ripped to them. Of course, always been supportive of Mowbray. This is Ben at 6578. Built a stable side at this level, built it, but it's become very stale. It's boring, lack of ideas. Time for a change. Now, he says, hashtag Rovers, of course. Rovers tweet said, one shot on target from 30 yards against bottom of the league. Bloody well joke, of course. And that's pretty much all the rest of that is all late to the game, of course. But anyway, that's, of course, what was going on the social media. What about what's going on elsewhere in the Championship? Now, I am doing this video as a game is taking place. Barnsley up against Reading. I think Reading are winning. I think it was Ijara with the goal. So, of course, there'll be another couple of games before this match day comes to a conclusion. But as of right now, these are the games that did take place at this Good Friday. Of course, Stoke winning, of course, over Bristol City to move them up the table. Of course, Derby also a big win of them over Luton as well. Millwall 1-0 winners over Rotherham. Of course, Forest pick up a win to move the chains up against Cardiff. Of course, one of our opponents in the next couple of matches. One of the surprises, though, Norwich getting just a point against Preston. QPR picking up a 3-0 win over Coventry. And, of course, Watford winning, as are Bournemouth, who are our next opponents. As for the table, it looks like this, as the Rovers are sitting in 15th. Realistically, I don't even know what excitement we can get out of this. Absolutely dreadful. We are possibly just a couple of days from going down to 18th. If Derby and the likes beneath us win, to put us in a bit of trouble. Of course, Huddersfield have a couple of games in hand as well to make matters worse, as do Rotherham. Of course, the waiting time is not there's not much of that, because we take on Bournemouth this Monday, of course, Easter Monday at Ewood Park. Does the win change it? Does the win change it all? It will make things better for sure. It definitely would make things better, but unfortunately, I just can't see it. I cannot see it where the goal's going to come from. Where's Adam Armstrong? Has he already gone? Has he left us? Is he actually down at London buying a place? I don't even know. I'm just deluded or disillusioned with what's going on with this club at the moment. Of course, if I owned Rovers and I realised things were going wrong and my investment is going south fast, I'd be on this. I'd be on the money. I'd be like, let's get this rectified right here, right now. But our owners, they're probably on holiday or something, even though holidays are probably banned still everywhere around the world. But they're probably on holiday because they got the money and they don't even give a rat's ass of what's going on with Rovers at the moment. So we could be going south and they don't even know about it. So things need to be addressed one way or another. Some may say to the end of the season, give them to the end of the season, and then of course change it up. But guess what? Well, where could we be at the end of the season? If you look at the Rovers fixture list over the next few weeks, it's not good. We take on Bournemouth, we take on Cardiff, who are both easily losable games, and then after that we're up against some of the teams that are struggling at the foot of the table. The Rotherhams. Who else are we taking on down there? I think we're taking on Sheffield Wednesday as well. Huddersfield as well. Also could be sucked into the old relegation mire. It is. We're on like a tipping point here. We could just pick up a win against Bournemouth and maybe a decent result against Cardiff, and then guess what? We're over the hump, and then we can ride out the end of the season. But otherwise, if we lose Bournemouth and we lose Cardiff, it just adds to it, and then you never know. You just don't know. We could get sucked back into the mess, which could be a relegation scrap. So I think, to be fair, I've been Mowbray all the way. If we could make a choice, if we could get something sorted out sooner than better, I think I think we've got to investigate that. But anyway, enough about that. I'll be back with, of course, the preview for Bournemouth very, very soon. Until then, though, give the video some thumbs up, smash your subscribe. I'll see you all next time for some more Rovers action.